Hello and welcome to round two of Sports Under the Sun. We're here today with Lowell Sun sports writers Dave Pevear and Matt Langone. I'm Dennis Whitton. Every week we talk about different things in the world of sports. Hope to catch your interest and maybe you'll learn a few things. Let's talk first about the subject in everybody's mind, the Boston Red Sox. Sox made a mess of the September pennant race, turned it into a laugher. And then Tito Francona was evicted as coach. Dave, we'll start with you. Firing Tino, I assume he was fired. Was that the right move?
I think it was the only move. It's never fair when these things happen, but even he kind of insinuated that the men in the clubhouse, or the little children in the clubhouse, were not listening to his voice anymore. And it happens with even Hall of Fame coaches in all sports. At some point, you talk, they don't listen.
Yeah, every manager has a shelf life. They're hired to be fired. Matt, do you think Terry will end up managing somewhere next year?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to stay out of the industry all that long. He may take a year off, maybe work in TV, and he'll get a taste of it when he fills in for Tim McCarver. That could be a good bet for him for a year or so. But I think ultimately he'll get the bug will bite him. He'll want to manage.
And I think he's going to be good. Listening to his press conferences, I think he's going to be very good on television. He doesn't have a very high bar to surpass with Tim McCarver, but.
Are there more dominoes going to fall on this?
Well, we're waiting to see what happens with Theo Epstein. The mere fact that the Cubs have asked for permission to speak to him indicates that Theo has interest in doing that. So see what happens.
You think Epstein would hire Tito to manage the Cubs?
I guess the possibility. You could never rule it out. Maybe not. I've heard Tito rumored around the White Sox a little bit because of his history with them coaching in their, managing in their minor league system, so maybe that's an option. But I can't imagine that the Sox will, I think they've got to give Theo kind of what he wants, because that's a huge turnaround to have your GM and your manager leave and try to have all that, when you're supposed to be a winner and have to fill those two voids. I don't know. I think
they do have those guys, they're like those little Theos walking around, Ben Sharp.
That's true, all those little Theo disciples.
Yeah, they all, I really don't think, I think they'll find somebody, another one of those Moneyball stat freak guys to plug in.
All right, let's bring the subject around to high school football. Last time on the show, we figured Chelmsford was the #1 team in the area, maybe Drake at #2. Now Drake has slipped a little, Billerica is doing well. Dave, is Chelmsford still #1?
I would say Chelmsford is still #1. I saw Billerica last week beat Drake, and it was one of the finest kind of overall performance that's seen by Billerica in the last few years that I've seen them. They just both offensively and defensively totally, offensively very balanced, and defensively just shut down Drake in the second half. So, right now I think these things change week to week because everything's so balanced. Right now we have in the NVC, I think it's 4 teams are 3-1, and the other 6 are all 2-2. So it changes week to week. But right now I would go Chelmsford and Billerica.
Yeah, I would say the NVC is looking like a fairly strong league this year. But Matt, who do you see as a player of the year in our area? The Eaton kid from Westford, or?
Well, I guess my bias right now would be towards the Eaton kid, because I saw him play on Friday night. I saw him rack up 301 rushing yards and score all his team's touchdowns. So you can't really be more valuable or make bigger case for player of the year than that. So I've seen him actually play twice this year, and he's had over 200 rushing yards in both games. So I would probably say him, slight edge over RJ Noel right now.
I'm going to put in, I know he's been around for 4 years, and we kind of, sometimes you get weary of the shelf life of Nicholas Spada, but maybe doesn't have the huge offensive stats he's had in the past. He's over 60 career touchdowns now, but, just watching that game last week, he's such a force on defense too. So, just his impact on the game on both sides of the ball, I think you have to kind of take into account. I know when we're looking at these player of the year rankings, we kind of are, we just look at...
We like the flash.
We like the stats.
Yeah, we like flash.
And, Eden's had 3 incredible games rushing the ball. I think he's gone over 200 yards now 3 times. So
Drake at Lowell, always a grudge match. Who do you like this week at Lowell?
I'm going to go with Lowell. I think they have the hot hand right now. They're coming off an impressive win over Methuen, it was, right? Dave, last week, Methuen?
Lowell's
Yeah.
Methuen, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're impressive. I'm going to stick with them. I think their offense is clicking, and I like them in that game.
I haven't seen Lowell, but obviously Lowell is hot. Drake is coming off what for them is a disappointing, especially second half against Billerica. The other thing about Drake is, it seems like, they started 0-2 last year and everybody counted them out, and Jason Houston got it turned around, and Jason is a Lowell High guy, played there, so I'm sure the middies will be ready.
I got the middies in that one. One more quickie, Pats Jets, 9.5 point spread. What the heck, what's wrong with the Jets?
A little high.
I don't think, I think that I think that's a case of the Jets defense isn't up to par what it's been the last couple of years, and I don't think their offense can score to stay with the Patriots.
Huh.
I think 9.5 just seems a little unreasonable. I can't. I mean,
This is the Jets Super Bowl.
Right, it's the Jets Super Bowl that Sanchez needs to perform in this game. They're off. They'll probably go back to running the ball. They have to, I think, because the passing game's not working. It's going to be a tight game. It's not going to be a 10-point game. The Pats aren't going to cover that spread.
I think you're just going to go firepower. I think the Patriots are going to. I don't think this Jets defense has been anything like it has been the last few years. And I think
Although they played well Sunday night. That was
yes,
deceptive because they shut down Baltimore in that game.
So I just think I think the Patriots are going to score. I think that's the question then becomes whether obviously the Patriots defense is no great shakes either. So it becomes the ability to score points, and right now the Patriots probably are 9.5 better on offense than
Jets 31, New England 24.
Heard it here first.
Lastly, the Bruins opened Thursday night. Do they have any prayer of repeating as Stanley Cup champions? No, they don't. Dave, what do you think?
Oh, well, of course they do. If Tim Thomas plays, I mean, we got to go through the internal
Nobody
regular
repeats.
season. Well, we got to go through the whole regular season.
Nobody
which,
repeats
but
in the NHL.
if
Only
he's,
in the NBA.
if
They don't
Tim
even do
Thomas,
that.
they wouldn't have won it last year without Tim Thomas.
Oh,
If he plays,
obviously.
and if he plays like, I mean,
He
if,
won't play like that again. There's no chance.
They're not repeating.
Patrick Waugh every couple of
They're
years.
not hungry. They're not hungry. Matt, what do you think?
They're not repeating. Nobody repeats in any sports right now. I mean, Patriots, early part of the decade, it's not happening. It doesn't even happen in the NBA. Now Jordan's gone, Tim Duncan's not in his prime. Nobody repeats.
Thanks for tuning in. For Dennis Whitton, Dave Pevear, Matt Langone. See you next time on Sports Under the Sun.